Good afternoon, beloveds. It is Sunday. It is Sunday, and it also happens to be Mother's Day. So, a special shout out to all of those loving humans who sacrifice your wants, your needs for the wants and needs of your child or someone you are expecting great skills, abilities, and competency as a loving human being, right? We do that. We sacrifice to no end at the expense of a later reward for our children to become upstanding, loving humans. So, shout out to you on this day. Um, that brings us to the conversation that I want to have today. I want to talk about that vibration of femininity and masculinity. I think it needs to be discussed, especially when you're talking about the mother energy, right? Because that mother energy is critical or is a large chunk of the creator energy. And that creator energy is in totality is who we all refer to God, the source of all things, right? But before we get into it, I definitely want to thank you all for your views. I'm noticing that I got a few more subscribers, and honestly, I don't do it for the sake of getting more subscribers. I do it truly and honestly out of the love and the space for love and sharing that I have a need for each each day. So it really is gives great honor to me and pleasure that you would even lend me your time to even get on the love boat. So thank you. I do ask that you reciprocate in that either liking my videos because it tells me I'm on track. It's a measuring thing for me, and also comment. I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to get into deeper discussion because isn't that the reason why we came here to have a greater understanding of ourselves in this world, right? So, um, and subscribe. Maybe you could share content, or you can put me on to some content with some of the subjects that we talk about here, and it could just be a whole family of understanding and love sharing, and I greatly appreciate it. So, I humbly thank you. And I want to talk about this aspect of mother, right? Of creator, the creator of all things, almighty, right? The source of all things, God, right? I want to really give a shout out, though, to all the mothers for sure. And let's talk about this God thing, right? Many times when we think of God, the image in our mind comes of a male, a source of creator, right? It's a male, and all the myth stories, especially because we are of the persuasion of the West philosophy and thought of humans, which, by the way, is totally unoriginal because all life started in the East, in Africa. It is the cradle of civilization. So, in attributing that fact, we have to understand that there is definitely a vibration of God, the Creator, that has a feminine vibration to it, as well as masculine, right? But I think a lot of the times because we come or we have been introduced to this patriarchal understanding of how we're coming from that system of society or government where um, men hold the power and women are largely excluded from that power, right? But that isn't the natural order of things, right? Because in the beginning, there were queens that ruled. There were females that ruled, right? Very successful societies for very long periods of time. Um, when you think about those times, 15 in the 15th century, you had Queen Amina. You had Yai Santiwa of the Shanti Kingdom in Ghana. You had Nefertiti, and not the Nefertiti of the pictures that they show us of. I'm saying the Nefertiti who ruled ancient Kemet. Ancient Kemet between 1292 BC to 1225 BC. And that's just the what's on record. Uh, Queen of Sheba, Queen Makeda. You had some successful societies that were ruled by women, right? And they weren't less of women, right? They just ruled from a balanced place. And what I mean by that, when you break down what femininity is and the qualities that a feminine vibration has, you're going to find that it has that aspect of unconditional love that's attached. So it's gentle, it's graceful, it's tender, it's loving, right? Um, but then when you look at the masculine vibration, it has the tendency to have courage, um, independence, assertiveness, power, um, leadership. It has that as a glowing vibration from it. So those queens and empresses that ruled, they weren't less feminine, right? They just knew how to balance it. That's all. And that's all any of us is supposed to learn how to do, is how to balance feminine energy with masculine energy. There's a balance. You have to know when to apply lovingness and when to apply strength and courage to situations to create a better outcome. It isn't you being more masculine. You know, in the West, they teach this idea of that if you have more of those assertiveness and you have more of that courage or power, that you're somehow less of a feminine person. You have no femininity to you at all. And I think that's where we get the lines blurred when it comes to, female, what's female and what's male, okay? Because female is, although in its simplicity, is just the makeup of a woman being able to bear children, having that system to do so, to nurse, to give birth, right? And that male being having the equipment to fertilize this woman so that she can have this baby that she can nurse, right? That's in its simplest form. It has nothing to do with the characteristics, that come with femininity or masculinity. It doesn't. It doesn't make you more prone to it or any of that. Because just think, the common black household in the U.S. And who knows, it could be the same whipping numbers across the globe. Well, not so much, I know. And anyhow, you can have here in the US, there are tons of households that do not have a male in the home. And in order for that household to survive, the woman have to be or tends to become more assertive, more aggressive about um, the successes of this child or children because they take on heavily the understanding that it's your responsibility to bring this being into a competent human being who is capable of using the knowledge, the skills, and abilities that you gave this individual to have success outside of your doors, right? So many households really take that on, but that makes that mother a little more aggressive, have a little more courage, have a little more power, have a little more of leadership capabilities because that mother has to run that house so that she can have this great competent human being outcome at the end of the time or the time that this child is expected to raise up and do for itself. But that doesn't mean that that mother is less feminine because she has to have more of these masculine energies, this more of this masculine vibration to get the task done. It doesn't mean that, but when you look out and or society looks in, that's exactly the um, the idea. You know, you get these stereotypes. Angry black women or women are black women are too, aggressive. And some of us have really exploited it, especially when you look at these um, housewife shows, and things like that. The common black woman is not trying to snatch eyes out of another black woman. That idea is portrayed so incorrectly. That is not the whole of us. By the way, did you see that magnificent sharing of femininity? Mm. That love that Erica Badu and Jill Scott, oh my God, sent healing, feminine healing, unconditional love, healing all over this planet. So, anyway, I really, really wanted to talk about the mother because that is that aspect that I think we get confused in not understanding feminine vibration from masculine vibration, and that those two energies exist in everyone. Everyone has it. Some of us may not have a balance of it. And that's the part you work to get. That's the part where you have that conversation, that healthy conversation to say, am I displaying a balance here? And what does it mean for me to be, really um, assertive? You know what I mean? Right now, what does it mean? Because those are our feelings are our indicators. If I'm being overly assertive or overly aggressive, I need to do some work on me right now. I need to have some time to reflect to see what about this situation makes me feel out of place, or in a place of um, where I feel like I need to be what is the word I'm looking for? Where I need to protect myself. Like I need to, do some of this, back up, because if you get to a place like that, that means something entered your atmosphere that you weren't quite ready or skilled at resolving without it creating an unharmonious energy for you. right? And we know what we need to do with those. We got to sort those out because those things bring us to a place that is a little less desirable than happy. And happy is how. Happy is how we get all of our blessings and all of our love treasures, right? So, again, happy Mother's Day. Let's really honor the ancient understanding of motherhood and feminine energy and masculinity and understand that there has to be a balance in order for you to get the most out of that, because if you are out of alignment, right? Like you're in a situation where you need to be loving and gentle, but you didn't get the note. It didn't, something didn't fire quite right in you, and you're on your aggressive, assertive, you missed whatever blessing was waiting for you in that loving and gentle environment. We got to bag all our gems. We got to bag them all. So, what I'm saying to you, beloveds, is you have to know. You have to know how you need to be, what you need to be. You need to have an understanding of which tools to use, which to vibrate, you know, for better outcomes in life. And I'm wishing you very well on this magnificent Mother's Day. Um, every day is Mother's Day to me, because there are creations of all sorts going on every day. And so on this day, I'm grateful for the um, encapsulating energy, I guess, it in a concentrated form for the love of divine feminine energy. So I'm grateful on this day. Please enjoy it, right? As a good friend of mine say, enjoy today as it is truly a gift. So, signing off, beloveds, wishing you well this week. Hoping that you bag your jewels. Don't leave your money on the table. Okay? All right. Till next time, beloveds. Odabo.